All right, so we all know the story of the Wendigo's hunt, right? The terror, the chase. But have you ever stopped to wonder what happens when it wins? What's the final chapter for a creature that literally is insatiable hunger? Well, that's what we're digging into today. The ultimate, kind of paradoxical end of that whole story. The final price for a will to consume that knows no limits.
And this quote, man, it just says it all, doesn't it? The master of a kingdom of nothingness. It just perfectly captures that hollow victory. It sets this incredibly bleak, desolate tone for what happens at the end of the road. You get all the power, but what you rule over is, well, nothing.
So yeah, that really brings us to the core question here, doesn't it? What actually happens when an infinite hunger finally wins? I mean, this is all about consequences. It's about the twisted logic of a curse that seems to offer everything. What's the real cost of that kind of Faustian bargain, the one that promises ultimate power but only gives you emptiness in return? Okay, to figure that out, we're going to look at what the source material calls a dual parable. First up, the parable of the last reflection. This is all about the Wendigo's big moment of triumph, which, as you'll see, is also its moment of total, crushing loneliness. So just try to picture this for a second. The end of everything, an infinite horizon. And there it is, the predator. It's won. It's devoured the entire world. Every last resource, every last living thing, it's all gone. The whole world is just silent, frozen. The Wendigo has achieved its goal, 100%. And this is where you see the brutal trade-off. On one hand, you have the illusion of victory, right? Monstrous power, total dominance, a creature so huge it towers over the clouds. It's the ultimate winner. But then you look at the reality. It's a hollow shell. It's achieved ultimate solitude in a world it devoured. It's standing in a void that it literally created for itself. And here's the reason why that victory is so empty. It all comes down to the core rule of the Wendigo's curse. It's so simple, but so devastating. Its body grows in proportion to what it eats, so every single act of consumption, every win, just leads to it getting bigger and even hungrier. It's this vicious, self-defeating cycle that can never, ever end. Which brings us to this incredible line, a giant with no world to walk upon. Think about that. The Wendigo has become so huge from all its success that the planet it just conquered can't even hold it anymore. Its victory has literally made its own existence impossible. How's that for irony? Okay, so the world is gone. There's nowhere left to stand, but what about that hunger? Does it just go away? No way. And this is where we get to the second and honestly much more terrifying part of the story, the self-feeding flame. That gnawing, endless will to consume. It doesn't have an off switch. It demands fuel. So with literally nothing left in the universe to eat, the hunger turns inward. There's only one thing left on the menu: itself. And this is where the logic gets just corrupted. It's a completely inescapable, horrifying loop. Step 1. The eternal hunger needs fuel. Step 2, there's no external fuel left. So step 3, the self becomes the final meal. But here's the kicker. Because of that curse, consuming itself makes it grow bigger, which of course just fuels an even greater, more agonizing hunger. It's a nightmare. So you end up with this agonizing paradox. The Wendigo gets bigger and hungrier because it is devouring itself. It's expanding and shrinking at the exact same time. It's a creature trapped in this bizarre state of being created and destroyed simultaneously by the same act. And at the end of all this, that man, the person who made that first terrible choice, who committed the ultimate taboo just to survive, he's long gone. He's been completely erased, totally consumed by the curse he unleashed. All that's left is the fire. Just an abstract, invisible heat. Pure hunger with nothing left to burn. And this final image just wraps it all up perfectly. A snake that begins to swallow its own tail to stay full. It's like a cosmic Ouroboros, but one driven by starvation. The more of itself it eats, the bigger and emptier it gets. It becomes nothing more than a circle of teeth and emptiness, forever trying to finish a meal that is also literally its own end. So we're left with this, right? The story of the Wendigo is so much more than just a campfire horror story. It's a parable, and it really makes you ask, what is the true end for any will, any ambition, any system that only knows how to consume? What happens when there's nothing left to take? Well, the story seems to give us a pretty clear and pretty terrifying answer. It becomes a self-devouring void.